and as they serve in all the different roles from student to teacher to support staff. We just pray, Lord, that you guide them, that we as a community would be supportive and help them to succeed at what they're doing as the school helps our kids to succeed in what they're doing. And we just pray for blessings upon this meeting tonight. And we pray for blessings upon each of our schools and our teachers, everyone who works with the school, from the bus drivers, custodians, to the superintendent. We just thank you for all of them. Bless them individually, bless them in their families. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. And I'm going to give the microphone to a lovely young lady named Stella, who's going to help you with the flag salute.
Please stand. Hand on your heart. Yeah. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Stella Higginbotham. Did I get it right? Good job. One of the best parts about having the students do the Pledge of Allegiance is the uniqueness that each one of them brings. So that might have been the sweetest one we've had so far. All right, so let's call to order. Do a roll call. Here. 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 Okay, moving on to item 3, comments from the superintendent.
All right. Well, you guys know that this month is Board Appreciation Month. I know you guys came in and saw all the goodies. I think we treat them like that every Monday, every board meeting. I'm just kidding. So no, I just want to talk just a little bit about, if you don't know, board members, that job is something that is pretty much a thankless job. But the work that they do is so important. And I know that as Tony's figuring out, as being brand new on the board, you don't get a lot of emails that say, hey, everything's great. But they do a great job, and the work that they do is so important. So I just want to take a moment and say, thank you for all that you do, for putting in the work, keeping kids first. And if your email box is empty, let me know, and I'll let IT know because it's broken. So no, seriously, appreciate you guys and for all the work that you do for our kids in our community. So. And now we have some awards to give out. So I'm going to call up Mr. Hine and Mr. Jewell to share the awards.
All right, good evening. Are we going back for pictures first? Yeah. Okay, if our principals would escort their winners back to the back for a group picture first, and we will pause for just a moment, and then we're going to get them up here and recognize them in front of our school board. Elementary, come on up. Okay, as they are coming up, I just would like to share with the parents the purpose of this award. Every month, we recognize Miller Strong winners. They're chosen by the principal and their school staff. We have nearly 10,000 students in Yukon, and we have 13 being recognized. So parents, if your child is here, thank you so much. Parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, everybody here to support them. Thank you for sending these amazing kids. And we're going to share a little blurb about them and recognize them. Mr. Steiner is going to shake their hand. And they also get a t-shirt that very few kids have. Thank you again to Delynn McDaniel and our community engagement office for getting the t-shirts ready for us. Dr. Pierce, come on up and start us off. So Dr. Pierce from Surrey Hills Elementary has him with him, Mr. Alan Gonzalez. Alan is the sweetest, happiest little boy ever. He gives his all with every task given to him. He has the biggest heart. He has a hug ready for me every time I see him. He is polite, honest, and kind. Alan has the added challenge of being an EL student, but he does not give up. He's mastering kindergarten skills and already learning to read. Alan follows class and hall procedures. He's an excellent example of a Surrey Hills student. His enthusiasm for learning makes teaching a lot of fun. Congratulations, Alan. Next up from Shedeck Elementary, Mr. Stowe has Miss Lyric Rollins. Lyric is so good at paying attention to others and reading their emotions. If someone is stressed out, she calmly helps them or tells them it's going to be okay. I'm so impressed each day with her kind and caring nature. Congratulations, Lyric. Next up from Parkland Elementary, Mrs. Mitchell has with her Mr. James Deckard. James has a natural gift for noticing when others need a hand. He steps in to help without ever being asked, whether it's offering support during group work, comforting a classmate who's having a tough day, or simply sharing a smile. James makes our classroom a brighter place. We are so proud of James and appreciate the great example he sets for all of his classmates at Parkland. Congratulations, James. Oh, James. You got to shake Mr. Steiner's hand. All right. Next, Miss Dutton brings back to the front from Myers Elementary, Miss Stella Higginbotham. Not only is she outstanding at doing the pledge and leading the pledge, she's also the kind of student who can tell when someone is feeling sad, left out, or frustrated, and she never ignores it. She's always the first one to walk over, check on them, and try to make them feel better. Stella listens to her classmates and really cares about how they are feeling. If someone's having a tough moment, she uses kind words, a gentle voice, or a friendly smile to help them feel supported. She treats everyone with respect and wants her classmates to feel safe and included. Stella's empathy helps our whole class feel more connected and cared for. She leads by example through her kindness, her understanding heart, and her willingness to help anyone who needs it. Congratulations, Stella. Next up from Skyview Elementary, Mrs. Smith has Mr. David Manna. David is a true leader at Skyview. Whatever he's asked to do, he's there to do it lightning quick. He always gets the job done efficiently, always is where he needs to be, doing what he needs to be doing, and treating everyone from teachers to friends with different abilities and personalities with respect and being helpful. When it's time to listen to instructions, he's in the learning zone. Eyes and ears are on the teacher, and he focuses as he eliminates distractions. When projects need collaborating, building, or any kind of problem solving, he has a gentle but motivating leadership style and presence for his group to get the job done. His teachers and principals believe he is an amazing young man. Congratulations, David. Next up from Central Elementary, Mrs. Gallagher has Kingston Carter. Kingston is always willing to include others, whether in the classroom or with sports or on the playground. He always makes sure no one is left out or singled out. He's always willing to lend a hand to others in need in all aspects. and Kingston has a heart for others. He's very athletic and knows that others don't play up to his level. At recess, I'd see him helping others and also telling kids to help someone. He stands up for the little guy. His thoughtful actions create a moment of safety and belonging, proving that compassion and empathy have no age. He's also able to make others feel comfortable and challenge them to feel better, to be better. Kingston is a great example of being empathetic and showing empathy to all. Congratulations, Kingston. Next up, from Ranchwood Elementary, Mrs. Lipe has Miss Claire Heston. Claire has shown amazing growth with both confidence in herself and in leadership within her classroom. She works hard every day to be a problem solver and uses great perseverance when things might get tough. She celebrates the successes of her classmates, leads others by example, and is a great friend to those around her. She is definitely the cherry on top at Ranchwood. Congratulations, Claire.
First, from our secondary, we have I'm pretty sure now viral Miss Tracy Sawinski to go along with Miss Emma Gozang. When I think about character, Emma comes to mind first. Emma is kind and a friend to everyone. She works hard and always has a smile on her face. Her enthusiasm and love for school is contagious to all that have the privilege of interacting with her. Her teacher, Miss Shade, says Emma is one of the most joyful people you will ever meet. There's not a person in the world she will not try to be friends with. Every time you see Emma, you can't help but smile. I tell her daily she makes my day better, and everyone needs some Emma in their life. Ladies and gentlemen, Emma Gozang. From Independence Intermediate, we have Mr. Ryan McLaughlin with Miss Maggie Wooten. Maggie shows us every day what it means to be responsible, kind, and genuine. Her kindness is not loud or showy. It is steady, sincere, and felt by everyone around her. She's deeply dedicated to her learning, always striving to grow, even when things are challenging, and she never gives up on herself. What makes Maggie so special is that she is completely one of a kind. She brings warmth, positivity, and quiet strength into our classroom, and her presence makes a difference in ways that truly matter. Outside of school, she is a fierce soccer player and a great teammate. This award is not just deserved, it is a reflection of who she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Maggie Wooten. Next, from Lakeview Intermediate, we have Mr. Sam Summers with Mr. Isaac Miller. Isaac is the best example of the Miller Five that I've ever seen. He's so kind to everyone. He takes new students under his wing so they have an instant friend. He gives them his own Miller money so they don't feel left out. I saw a great example of Isaac last week when Kona Ice was here. He saw a new friend that forgot her money, so he gave her his. He was going to do without. Isaac is a kind, hardworking, friendly student, and I'm honored to have him in my class. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Isaac Miller. From Yukon Middle School, we have Miss Karen Garcia and Miss Grace Hernandez. The strong character trait that YMS is focusing on is honesty. Honesty is being free from deception and not only saying true things, but also living a consistent life. The student we have chosen this month is Grace Hernandez. Grace consistently demonstrates honesty in both words and actions, earning the trust of peers and adults alike. She leads a life guided by strong values, showing consistency between what she says and what she does. Her integrity is evident in daily choices, decision-making, and interactions with others, making her a positive role model within the school community at YMS. We are so proud to have her as a Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Grace Hernandez. Yale student was unable to be here, but we are going to celebrate Miss Jody Pendleton and her student, Miss Jocelyn Pop-Kukul. Sure. Yale's character trait this month was selflessness. This was submitted by Mrs. Butler, her Yale teacher. I'd like to nominate Jocelyn Pop-Kukul. She's one of the most selfless students. She's always willing to help others, and although she has not been here long herself, she takes new students under her wing. She brings treats for the classroom to share with other students. She collaborates with her classmates on group projects and makes sure that everyone feels included. A round of applause for Miss Jocelyn Pop Cooper. Last but not least, we have Mrs. Melissa Barlow with Miss Caitlin Dean from Yukon High School. Caitlin Dean shows the character-strong values of empathy and responsibility. Each day, Caitlin contributed to the classroom culture in such a positive way. Caitlin is the definition of joy, and the way she treats her classmates echoes that. I saw the reality of this throughout the first semester when there was a clear difference in attitude and simple happiness in those around her, and her empathetic spirit helped draw that out of her classmates. Her future is bright, and Yukon is a better place because Caitlin is a Miller. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Caitlin Dean.
Are you done with your part? Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to switch items 4 and 5. We're going to go with 5 first. Sorry, you'll have to wait just a second. So we're going to do board member communications before everybody leaves. That was why I switched it. If you'll hang on just 1 second. Is this on?
Yeah, hold on just a second.
Hey, if everybody just hang on just 1 second. I just want to make sure. Yeah, just hold for a second. Sorry, this is unusual, but I'm just going to kind of mix it up a little bit. So we'll start with Suzanne. Yeah.
I noticed, well, hello? Can you hear me now? Is it on? Okay. So I was watching on Facebook the different things that our schools post throughout the day and the year and whatever.
Can you not say what you're about to say? Can you not say what you're about to say?
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you, Jeff.
Thank you.
I try to pick a word for the year, sometimes the day, it depends. But my word for this year is perseverance. And I noticed that Parkland had perseverance for their word. I don't know if it was for this week or this month or today, the month. And I thought, how cool is that they're starting the year off with perseverance, which is my word for this year. So I think that's a great word, and it's a good way for us to live and to just kind of hang in there and persevere. So anyway, I want to welcome everybody back from the Christmas break. Thank you for coming back. And let's have a great rest of the year.
Tony?
I'm good.
Leo?
Okay, I'll use everybody else's time. I've got several items here. First off, I'm glad to see everybody back. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas break. There's a couple of our music instructors that's going to be recognized on January the 22nd by the Oklahoma Music Education Association. One of which I'm surprised you didn't mention. I may let you talk about her if you want to. First, I'll talk about Mr. Brown. One of the award winners is Mr. Clint Brown. He served Yukon band program from 97 to 2014. He has been back at Yukon since 23. His bands have received many awards during his 31 years of teaching career. Two things that stand out to me. Now, I'm going to start over. But, and sometimes it's funny what you remember, but one of the things I remember about Mr. Brown that's real easy to remember because he was the band director in 24 when Yukon Jazz Band won first place, excuse me, with a perfect score, which had never been done before. And the reason I remember that is because my grandson was in that band. But he's had an outstanding career, and give him a big thank you for all the work that he's done. The second item that I kind of wanted to mention, and maybe it's because our teachers, some of them get to spend a lot of time with their students, but Mr. Brown really remembers his students, which I wish I had that kind of memory, but when he first came to Yukon, one of his students was my son, and he remembered him from back in 1997 or 98, whichever it was. And then more recently in 24, the jazz band was having a performance at the high school. And we invited some friends to come to see the band perform. And one of the couple that came, his son had participated in jazz band. And I think he graduated in about 2014, which was about the year that Mr. Brown came back to Yukon. And he remembered the parent and the young man. And he also remembered that he had played the same solo that they were playing that night for the jazz performance. So I thought that was impressive. Let's see, what else did I have here? I think that the next one I was going to mention was our orchestra director. Do you want to talk about here, or you want me to read what I've got? Okay.
That's all you get.
Orchestra director Megan McCrary, is that earned the Oklahoma Music Education Association's Outstanding Young Music Educator. So we got both ends of it. We got Mr. Brown, that's 31 years, and then Megan, that's much younger. Outstanding award. She will be honored during the Thursday, January 22nd ceremony at the Association Winter Conference in Tulsa. The next thing I want to mention real quick is Project Graduation is having a fundraiser this coming Saturday, the 17th. It's from 8 till 3 o'clock in the cafeteria at the high school. And I think they're still taking items for contributions to put in the garage sale. So I've got an email address here if anybody wants to get that later. Why don't you go ahead and talk about Megan if you want to, and I got one more item then.
When we interviewed Megan, I was so excited. She's got so much enthusiasm. She's very creative, thinks outside the box. She seems to be a really good teacher, and I'm excited that we have her here with us. And she's done a great job. For years, people said, why doesn't Yukon have an orchestra? And, for whatever reason, we now have an orchestra. I think it started 13 years after I got on the board, but I was working on it for 15 years before that. So I'm just so excited that we're able to have one more opportunity for our students to have a place to belong and to do it with such joy. And Megan brings that to them. So thank you, Megan. And I just want to say about Mr. Brown, he's been here as long as I can remember, and he's amazing.
Yes, he is. Okay, that's all the good stuff I got to talk about. Now I got something that's not quite as much fun. I've had a few people talk to me about a state question that's coming up, State Question 842. And usually try not to talk too much about political stuff, but it's going to have a huge impact on our school district if that state question is approved or gets approved to be put on the ballot, and then if it's voted in, because it eliminates ad valorem taxes on your homestead or your personal residence. And basically, it's already been filed with Oklahoma Secretary of State. That was on, back in December, I think it was December 5th, but I don't see it on my notes here. But it'll go through a process that where the Attorney General, the Secretary of State and the Attorney General will review the proposed ballot title and summary, and then it will go to the petitioners will have the opportunity to get enough signatures to put it on the ballot, and that they have 90 days to do that. They need to get 92,263 votes in order to put it on the ballot. And then the next step is must be reviewed again by the Attorney General and the Supreme Court. And if that happens, then it'll be put on to be voted on. And it could be as early as November 3rd of 2026. And I won't try to go into all the details, but basically it would mean about $20 million to the Yukon School District is one of the estimates that I've got. And I think that came from our I can't think of the assessor, or county assessor. I actually think it may be higher than that, but $20 million, it's taken us a long time to get our education here in Yukon to where it is, where our salaries are where they need to be, and we're providing what the kids need. So just make sure that you do your due diligence. If you're asked to sign the petition, think about it, or if it ever comes up for a vote, be sure again and think about what's happening, because it's going to be real easy for people to say, hey, I want to get rid of those taxes. I personally wrote a check for $4,000 in December for my property on my home. And I could think of a lot of other things I'd like to do with that $4,000. But at the same time, I'm very much supportive of our school system, our county government, and some other governmental parts that receive funding from the ad valorem. So now I'm through finally. Sorry that took so long.
Are you?
Wake up.
Okay, so Brian.
Well, I usually don't say much, but I wrote a book tonight. I'm just kidding. I want to say thank you to all the schools, all the teachers, administration, all that stuff. It was wonderful to see all this, and we appreciate y'all too for everything y'all do. All right, Jeff, it's all you, man.
Okay, so thank you for waiting until the end of that. Because normally we would have released everybody, but I wanted to have a little bit more of a crowd than just our admin and our principals for this moment, because I don't say much either, but there's a group of people in our district, and I've had an opportunity to spend some time with them. That's each one of our site administrators, our principals. And so if anybody, I think Adam might have referenced it earlier, to where, and I know none of these people want any kind of recognition, but I was so compelled to just say something that I saw that inspired me. Is there was a video, and I'm not on Facebook or other things like that. I get to see all this stuff through my wife, Daisha. But there was this video this week of a principal at one of our schools who I would say embodied what our principals do every day, but it doesn't get recognized so much this way. So in case you haven't seen it, there is a video where a brief storm came through an early morning of this week. I don't remember what day it was. Maybe Tracy could help us with that. What day was that? Okay. So Thursday of last week, there was a storm that came through in the morning, and I honestly did not even realize how bad it was until I saw this video. And so if none of you have seen it yet, there is a Miss Tracy Sawinski from Redstone who dismissed her staff to go back inside while she made sure that every student got out of the car and into the building safely, just like you see in the movies where they get swept away. This was near the same as that, in my opinion. So I just want to take a moment just to highlight what kind of dedication that all of our principals give to our district every day, which was embodied in a video that I saw this week of Tracy. So thank you for what you do, Tracy. Exciting. Our other principals and other people, but this week it's Tracy. So
Shows
all
they
right.
can weather any type of storm, no matter what it is.
Yeah, that's right. So anyways, that's all I have to say. So this is the moment where if you don't really want to be here, you can leave.
Thank you, guys.
That's why I had to liven it up a little bit.
Thank you. Thank you.
You know what'd be fun? Just to get her one of them fishing. You know what? I'll put the hat that goes up.
We should get her some waders.
Waiter.
Get Tracy some waders.
Good idea.
All of them.
Okay, so thank you. Let's go ahead and move on because we're going to have some more things tonight. If we can go back to item 4, which means you're up.
These are the people that have to
Fun
stay.
stuff.
Well, I didn't say the word audit. Anybody else want to go?
Everybody left. I'm Jay States with S&B CPAs, and this is your audit for the 25 school year, 24-25. Pages 3, 4, 5, and 6 is your first opinion letter. There's 3 opinion letters in this audit, and you have 3 because you spent more than $750,000 of federal funds, which makes you a uniform guidance. Next year, that number will go to $1 million. So, but you'll still be uniform guidance. It'll get a few of our small schools out of that. But page 7 is your balance sheet, and we'll go through the general fund, and we'll go through the special revenue, the debt service, and capital projects and trust and agency further back in the audit because there's a breakdown of each fund individually rather than grouped all together. General fund, we have $28 million in the bank. We have warrants payable 10. Those are outstanding checks at the end of the year. Reserved for encumbrances, those are POs that were open. We had made an appropriation or encumbered those expenditures. We had not received the invoice, or we assume that we will spend those funds later in the year. If we do not, we will close them out at the end of next year and we'll bring them back into the fund, into the income statement. That's $1,441,000. Have unassigned $16 million. This is where we pay our operations for our school. Everything else is reserved to those purposes which are in those funds. That's the only place we can pay the normal operations, $16 million. For total liabilities and fund balance of $28 million. Page 8, again, we'll go through the general fund and we'll break out the rest later on the back. General fund, we have local sources, $25,940,000. Again, he said $20 million goes away. That's $5,940,000, which will reduce the bottom line to $69,000. And we had $89,000 worth of expenditures. So this is a big thing. And the question is if they do it, what are they going to replace it with? Because they're going to have to replace it with something. Have intermediate sources, $3,498,000, state sources, $54 million, and federal sources, this is for what makes us a uniform guidance, we received $3,859,000. Non-revenue receipts, $1,658,000. Most of that is transferred in from the activity fund for the lunch fund. We have expenditures of $54 million, instruction, support services, $32 million. Most of that goes direct to the classroom. Operation of non-instructional service, $1,000,008. Other uses, $64,000, and repayments is $6,962 for total expenditures of $89,203. We take that away from our revenues and have an excess expenditures over revenues, $42,000. Again, we bring back in encumbrances. These are POs that were closed out from the prior year, $432,000, and a stopped warrants. These are old checks that never got cashed, and we stopped those and brought them back into the fund. For total excess revenues over expenditures, $390,000. We add that to our beginning year fund balance, $16 million. Gives us fund balance at the end of the year, $16,463,000. Page 9. This is basically the same thing as what's on page 8. The only difference is it's a beginning budget to final budget to actual. If there would have been changes in those funds, and we'd had to do a supplemental appropriation, the board would have had to approve those funds before you could spend those funds. So we'd have had to put them back into the estimate of needs, and the board would have had to vote it on. There was no changes. Pages 10 through 18. These are our notes to our financial statements. If you turn to page 14. Have building bond, general obligation bonds of 24, 41,650,000. Those pay off in May of 27. Have combined purpose bonds of 25, 3,260,000. Those pay off in May of 26. If you turn back to page 17, down at the bottom, in 25, this talks about our employee retirement system. All funds withheld from the employees and the school paid, we contribute a total of $9,400,000 to retirement fund for our employees, our support staff, and everything. Page 19, this is the balance sheet for our special revenue fund. We break out the building fund and the child nutrition fund, which makes up the special revenue. Building fund has $11 million in cash, child nutrition, $3 million. Have warrants outstanding, $422,000 in the building fund and $103,000 of reserves. It has a fund balance of $10,527,000 for a total of $11,053,000. We have warrants payable in the child nutrition, $231,000, and fund balance at $2,008,000 for a total of $3,074,000. Page 20, this is a breakdown of our capital projects on page 7. Again, we have bond 31 and bond 39. These were voted on by the people to build your specific buildings or building projects that you have going on, and probably transportation. Again, bond 31 has 43 million and bond 39 has 1,424,000. And those will be expended in the next few years as the building process goes on. Page 21, this is a breakout of our trust and agency funds. Medical insurance fund has 323,000, workman's comp has 29,000, unemployment comp fund 231,000, and flood casualty fund 761,000, and activity fund $2,344,000. We'll go through that a little later on in the back. Page 22. This is a breakout for page 8 of our special revenues. Building fund have total revenues of $8,811,000. Have support services that we spent $3,434,000, and facilities acquisition $552,000. For total expenditures, $3,987,000. We take that away from our revenues, gives us excess of $4,008,000. Add that, had prior year encumbrances, we had back $463,000 for a total of $10 million at the end of the year. Child nutrition have receipts of $3,281,000 and expenditures of $3,634,000 for a decrease in the fund of $352,000. Again, the child nutrition fund is not supposed to make money, so we did that. For a total at the end of the year, $2,842,000. Page 23 is a breakout of our capital projects funds. Where you see down in the, towards bond, we sold bonds at $2,810,000 in bond 31 and $450,000 in 39. We spent $11,290,000 in 31, bond fund 31. At the end of the year, we have $42,816,000. We spent $30,000 in bond 39, and then we have a final balance of $1,424,000. Next page is a breakout on page 8 of our trust and agency. Most of the funds, there's no changes, and we'll You notice we don't see the activity fund on here. We do not present it as part of the school's financials because it belongs to those individual activity funds. So we'll go through that later on in the night. Next page is a breakout of the special revenue. Again, there would have been, we went through those. If there would have been a change, the board would have had to approve the budget appropriations before those monies could be spent. Page 27 shows that our, excuse me, our activity fund balances, our bank account, 2,344,000. We have ledger balance at 2,227,000. Page 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. These are all your activity funds. There's a lot of sub-accounts. There's a lot of hands involved in this. Basically, each one of those is a sponsor, usually a teacher. They have the same responsibilities as the treasurer and the encumbrance clerk. They have to receipt those funds when they receive them from the students. Then on a daily basis, they have to turn that into the activity fund custodian. Because when she receives $100 for the whole school, not just one account, the whole school, by state law, those funds have to be deposited on a daily basis. Again, we look at these funds really hard, basically to protect the teachers and or the sponsors, whoever's involved. Because if those monies get left sitting around, there's going to become an opportunity and there's going to become a need. And the student's not responsible for paying those back. The school's not responsible. They didn't get it. It's going to be left of that teacher to pay those funds back. So we want to look and make sure they're doing things correctly and turning it in on a timely basis. Then after they get the funds collected, they turn it in, they issue a PO, get it approved, then they can buy those items, but not until the PO's approved. Then when they turn that in, they order the items. When they receive the receipt, they turn in, sign the receipt, turn it in for payment. Again, there's a lot of moving parts and those people change every year. So there's a lot of training and a lot of responsibility there. Page 32. This is called your CFA. We call it a CFA, Schedule of Federal Awards. This is the reason your uniform guidance, we have to pick 40% of that $7 million that you spent. And this year, I'll turn back to another page here. We looked at federal lunch at your child nutrition fund. And of that, we looked at probably 80% of the items that you spent the funds on to make sure you spent it correctly. And you're in very good shape. We received $6,964,000. We spent $7,638,000. And we had some funds at the end of the year that we had not received. And there's child nutrition funds to spend of $1.5 million. And the reason why we received those funds during COVID, and people are still trying to spend all the money that they sent us during COVID. Someday they're going to say, you got to have it spent by a certain date. They have not said that yet, but it's coming. And again, you've got $2.8 million in the fund, so you're covered. Page 34 and 35. This is your second letter. This is where we look at everything else. This is a letter on internal control. We look at your salaries, review your contracts. We look at your teacher's retirement. We go through your POs. We go through the receipts. We read the board minutes. Anything and everything has to do with the school's financial system. This is where we look at it, and it was a clean opinion. Page 36 and 37. It's a letter on uniform guidance. And if you turn to page 38, this is the schedule of findings, question, cost. It's an adverse opinion. We do not show it in general accepted accounting principles. We show it in a regulatory method, which is required by the state of Oklahoma. It's qualified because we don't show general fixed assets. There's no reason to. You don't do a tax return. You don't need to depreciate them. We expense those items, use them up. When we're done with them, We surplus them, we sell them, and we buy new. There was no material weakness, no significant deficiencies. It's an unqualified opinion. And again, we looked at the federal lunch program. And where you wanted me to start, there was no findings. It was a very good audit report. Your staff and people here do a really good job.
Thank you. You have any questions? You stand up for a second. No?
Just a second.
It's not me.
I did want to make one comment, and I think I usually make it each year, and you actually covered it briefly in the last comments you made about the audit report. To me, the actual page 4 to the non-accounting person could be very confusing, because at one place it says that the combined financial statements referred to above present fairly in all material receipts, the assets, so on and so on. And then the next section down says the financial statements referred to above do not present fairly. And again, it's because of what you just said, that we don't depreciate assets, we don't put them on the books, and I think it's confusing to some people. But the main thing is that we had a good report and that everything's taken care of, right, Jason?
Well, and I'm comment too that your audit report is different than a VOTEC. A VOTEC has to do a GASB 34 audit, have to do a MDA, they have to give a lot of comments, they show all the depreciation schedule and everything's depreciated. The other thing that they have to do, if you did that, you would have to show your liability in the teacher's retirement system, because the state does not take responsibility for it and they do not put it in their financial statement. So your segment would be allocated to you. And that report, those first 4 pages are confusing. And again, they're confusing to us, but they change the wording every year. And if you don't change it like they want you, they'll write you up for it. But the other problem is when you see the financial statements for a VOTEC, you're like, I don't understand any of this, because it takes it. When I get we do 7 of them. When I get a financial statement, it takes me a day to go through it and with a lot of notes so I can get that report, because this one I can pretty well spit it out because everybody's the same, but a VOTEC's not. So, and the VOTEC would like to get rid of that because
Yeah, maybe.
they have to hire another person to come in and do the financial statements, do the audit report. They give it to us and then we have to go audit, which is another added expense.
Good. Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Any other questions?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So we'll jump over to item 5B. So the upcoming meetings and events. This is Board Appreciation Month. There's some things coming up. Board meeting on the 2nd of next month. Item 6, I don't think we have anybody that's requested to address us. Item 7, finance consent docket. If we can, so all of the finance consent items will be discussed, considered, approved, or disapproved by one vote unless a board member desires to have a separate vote on any or all of the consent items. Do we have any discussion? No?
No, I'm good.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Make a motion, we approve the finance consent docket 7A through 7D?
Yeah, do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call? or-
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay, we will go on to item 8, the business consent docket. Same as what I said before. Basically, you can approve one or all or none or whatever you want to do with one vote. So do I have any questions, any discussion?
Nope, I didn't find anything.
Do I have a second?
Well, you need a motion first.
Motion. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Okay, roll call.
Yes.
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 Abstain. Item 9, no new business? Correct? Okay, thank you. 10, item 10, personnel docket. Are we going to vote to convene an executive session or not? Make a motion?
I think we needed a motion to meet, didn't we? Okay, so I make that motion.
Thank you. Second? Okay, roll call.
Yes.
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 so we can acknowledge that the board has returned from executive session. No votes were taken. Item 10C, discussion and possible action on the personnel docket. Do we need any more discussion?
No.
Okay, so can I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the personnel docket?
I have a second?
Second?
Roll call?
Yes.
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 I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting?
Do I have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Yes.
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 Because isn't there a national
Yes.
championship game on right now?
No. I just.
Oh. Oh.
I honestly